Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. Ramble, 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 ramble. Look, folks, we're on time today. Oh my God.
Now we're getting back into the swing of things.
Well, rebalancing my schedule compared to since I have this new dog who's parked himself right by my feet where I can barely move the chair without running over his feet.
Yeah, gotta be in the way. It's part of being a good pet, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we went for our walk, like I do on show day. I go 45 minutes early for the walk and make sure he's down and out for the entire show. And he likes to then after it, if I'm working, he parks himself right at my feet under the desk. And he just sort of sits there or lays there.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah. I've actually had really good walks with him the last several days. Where, once he gets through his initial, okay, this is your outdoor time, you can go sniff to your heart's content. Now we go walking, and I'm not quite 100% loose leash, but it's like 95% there, 90% there, where I'm holding it, but I'm not tight and my arm's not being yanked. And he tries to nudge a little forward, and I nudge him back a little, but he's getting the idea. He's getting it. It's making the walks way more enjoyable.
That's good.
Except when a squirrel pops his head up.
Yeah, it's impressive how well he remembers where every single squirrel is.
Every time we walk by the trees, he's seen them go up. He looks to see if he can spot a squirrel. And now he looks at the telephone wire in one particular place because he watched a squirrel run across the top of a wire chittering at us. He really wants to get the squirrels.
Furry creature. He sees little furry creatures and goes, snack.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much all he thinks of them as snacks. Yeah, on the whole, it's a good dog, though. Very good.
Oh, did I? Hang on. Half thought. Bear with me.
All right, go find the other half of the thought and turn it into a real thought.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I forgot half of the title.
You forgot half the title? How did you forget half the title?
Well, my eyes skipped over WordPress and Wonderland. It happens.
Okay. Well, say, man, Grok worked really hard on that title. I had to ask him a couple of times before I got a good title.
Yeah. Well, now I've got the whole title in there, so.
Well, there you go.
Maybe my eyes skipped over half of it because it's twice as long as usual.
Yeah, well, we're sort of just going crazy with the titles and the images now. They're only semi-relevant. They're only semi-relevant to the actual show.
Well, they're mildly relevant.
Well, WordPress, that's the relevant part. So, hey. The rest of it, yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see.
I've actually been enjoying working with my own photos that I've taken over the years for the news for you.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the picture on the latest issue of News for You, and it's actually a really good picture.
It is. It's a nice photo. It's a really great photo.
Yeah, a lot of the actually almost like all the photos that I have for the News for You, they're all my photos, and they're all really cool, I think.
Well, there you go, folks. For anyone listening in the preview stream here today, you can go check out the site and go check out the News for You and all the photos.
Yeah, Grok is just getting more and more weird with his images.
Oh, no, sometimes he gives me plain images. Hi, Hebdian. You're early. Nice to see you. Yeah, well, Grok is, Sometimes I have to ask him 2 or 3 times before I get the image I want from him.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, you have to be pretty specific in places you never thought you would have to be specific.
Well, that's the thing is that I've learned about generative AI. You got to be very, very specific.
Mhm.
The more specific you are, the more it will create exactly what you ask for. And sometimes, without thinking, I'm very specific. But if I can't figure out the specific and I get ambiguous, it is just as ambiguous. So I think I'll learn a bit more about AI for a little while. That'll be my sideline for a week or two, is AI, until I get bored with learning about it.
Yeah, AI has been interesting. I haven't like kept myself totally up to date, but I've kept myself pretty well informed. And it's very interesting the way that it kind of goes stagnant for a while and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it grows in leaps and bounds.
Well, that's the way it works.
The last 6 months, it's just been growing in leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
But the 2 years before that was fairly stagnant.
Yeah, and then we have no idea what's going to happen over at ChatGPT, since they're having a fire sale and everything's going crazy over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just stick with Grok. I find its answers way more entertaining than ChatGPT's.
You know what? Grok's answers to things, not only are they more entertaining, but I can understand them easier. Like, there's things that I've asked Grok to define for me or answer for me that I've been looking for those bloody answers for ages on all of the, it's like even Elementor. I'll go and I'll look for answers on their professional official website. And the stuff I read on there still doesn't come across nearly as accurate or easy to understand as what I get from Grok. And
Yeah.
I asked Grok to define this, and the first time he defines it, it's like, oh wow, that's what it means.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that a few times with stuff I'm trying to understand. And now, if I look for an answer, now I'm actually going to Grok first before I even do a Google search now.
That's what I've gotten to as well. Like, I have a little sidebar because I've decided that Opera is my new my new browser. I really love it. But because of the sidebar there, you can choose to have your you can choose to have X in your sidebar. So I just keep it on Grok. And every time I have a question, I just click on the sidebar and I open Grok and ask him a question.
Yep. Yeah, it works very well. So yeah, I've been quite impressed with it and how it's working, and experimenting with a couple other AIs. I was listening to a No Agenda show, and the last few shows they've had somebody's been playing with. I can't remember what they called it, but it's an AI that you give it a prompt and it creates a short 2-minute podcast for you based on your prompts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I was experimenting with that this morning, playing with that, and I was reading down into it. They do force you to create an account. You can create your thing, and then when you go to download and you click download, they force you to create an account. Oh shit! Well, whatever. So I created the account, but then I decided to do a little deeper into it. It turns out it can be used to create audio ads, all kinds of different audio stuff off of prompts.
Oh, cool.
So I'm gonna experiment with that stuff on it for a little while.
I can see it being super helpful.
I think it might be helpful for me because I've been at a fucking dearth of creativity for quite some time. And I need something to reignite the creativity that I once had. I had such massive creativity for years. For years, I put out so much content for years, but then all of a sudden, I just, for some reason, my brain went, you know what? I don't want to do it. So
this should probably help to rekindle that creativity fire.
Recreate that stuff and then make it all work a little better. So, but I'm finding it interesting as I'm finding more of the tools that have been built. I wasn't on the bleeding edge of it, but you know what I found out over the years of doing the internet? For the longest time, I was on the bleeding edge of the internet, and then I got focused on stuff, and the bleeding edge fell away, and I catch up with things later. It was way easier if you didn't do it on the bleeding edge, but you came in after the tools were created, and you could actually leap ahead of all of those that were on the bleeding edge.
Hamdian said, I find with AI for images, if I have something close to what I want, I can't get it to redo a specified tweak. It'll only regenerate from scratch, so I lose the bits I want to keep. That is true.
Yes, I've found that too with images. It creates me exactly the image, and I tell it to use that same image and then put text on it, and it gets me a whole nother fucking image. No, not what I wanted. So yeah, the best thing is, like, I've had it create, like, I was doing a test logo for a client, and I put in a prompt, and it created the logo perfectly, and then I wanted it to tweak it, and I couldn't even get it to duplicate the original first one it created. It was like, okay, well, this is going to be interesting to figure out how to do this. So,
you know what would work?
What's that?
If you get into create an image, take that image, take it over to a different AI that is designed to work in like an art program or something.
Yeah, there's other AI tools out there where you can upload an image and tell it to modify it. That might work.
And that's what you have to do. Because the generative AIs, they will generate whatever you tell them to, but they can't do tweaks.
No, they can't do tweaks because they're just generating info. I'm learning the differences, and there's like 4 or 5 different types of AI out there.
Yeah.
And the generative one, and right now Grok is just pure generative.
Yeah.
And in fact, I even asked him, does he do audio? And he said, nope, I only do text. That summarized what he had to say, but.
Yeah, he's not even a proper like generative AI for images, although he does pretty well because he can't actually understand or fully comprehend the image he's creating, which is why they're kind of really warped. There's actually a very specific AI out there that does art generation, and that is the kind of AI that you need in order to do tweaks.
Yep, pretty much.
You can really just do a Google search and go find one. There's so many of them out there. Finding a good one is going to be hard because everybody, from what I can see so far, all of them are kind of at the same level for the artistic AIs, and they're all weird.
Well, sooner or later, somebody's going to leap ahead.
Yeah, it seems to be a time for the leaps and bounds. That's been happening for the last 6 months now?
Yeah, give or take.
So probably for another 6 months, we'll continue doing leaps and bounds, and then we're going to level out for a while and then fall into a stagnation.
All right.
That seems to be the pattern.
It is time for some music to carry us to the show.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes
Alrighty then, it must be time.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress Plugins A to Z, not Z.
It's episode 634, and we have plugins for Building with Billy, Removing EXIFs, and some WordPress news coming up on WordPress Plugins from A to Z. WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress Plugins from A to Z. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe. Coming to you direct from the brewery overlooking beautiful southern Vancouver Island. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber overall.
And we've got a great show for you today. We've got all kinds of stuff. And for those of you listening on the downloads, hey, go on over to YouTube. Today you can catch a very nice discussion about AI and all kinds of other great stuff we were rambling about. As we often do in the pre-stream show, we ramble about miscellaneous things as we make sure everything's working. And, you know, even some dog talk since I've got myself a new dog and he's keeping me right busy. But you know what? That'd be enough from me.
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
It's been so long since I've heard that. It's so great. Welcome to episode 634, WordPress in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter's logo party, because that totally has something to do with WordPress. I mean, we do have WordPress in Wonderland, so that counts. We've got a couple of great in-depth plugins to cover for you, some recent news in both the WordPress world and the tech world in general, and some awesome WordPress tips. Finally, the weather is cool enough. Now, give us humans about a week of this cooler weather, we will all be whining that we can't wait for summer. We're just fickle that way. But remember, during this cooling down time, now that it's starting to rain, at least in places like the island where it's now very rainy, remember to keep yourself dry and warm. You don't want to get sick. So seasonal changes are the worst time to get sick. They're also the most common time to get sick. So be aware, keep yourself warm and dry. Also, we are still looking for suggestions from people out there who are at all interested in helping us out with this plugin battle royale. I think it's been like 2 months now. I still haven't gotten very far on it because, well, I just haven't. I'll keep working on it. But if anybody has any ideas, please shoot me a message. I would love to have some suggestions or ideas. That would be great. A few reminders before we start the show today. Be sure to check out our newer news thing called News for You. You can find it on our homepage right next to the latest podcast. You can see right there. So far, it's all my pictures up there. I'm pretty proud of them. And you can also find our left-hand menu. Show starts at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time every other week on Monday. Join in for the pre-stream entertainment starting about 12:15-ish. And you'll find show notes on the homepage, wppplugins.a2z.com, within 24-ish hours after the show. And this is a value for value show. So you can help us get some loving by hitting some like buttons, sharing an episode or two, or, you know, lovingly forcing your family members to listen to us by cranking up our show really loudly. All those fun things. And don't run away at the end. We got some good questions and answers. It's coming up. Is that your or mine?
That would be me.
Okay. I didn't see a notification, but I heard the notification sound. That was confusing.
So that would be my computer acting up.
All right. Well, let's start the show with this week's featured artist.
Absolutely.
And that would be
Grok.
Yeah.
He did another cool twisted theme for us.
Oh my god, this is one of his creepier ones, honestly.
Well,
but
it's in honor of all the things that have been happening in WordPress this past week and a half.
Oh, it is a beautiful representation of all the craziness that's going on in WordPress community right now. It is a beautiful representation, I have to admit.
Yep.
Is he standing in water?
No, looks like, yeah, you're right, boiling water. Looks like boiling, frothing, stormy water.
Okay, yeah, that kind of works.
Planet?
Said, oh geez, I was scrambling to find notification. It wasn't even on my PC. See, you're throwing us all off with your notifications,
Well,
man.
I can't help it, man. Just all of a sudden, it decided to pop a notification for something I turned off 15 minutes ago.
All right. Well, yeah, that's interesting. I didn't notice it was water till now.
Yeah, I didn't even pay attention. I just sort of seen it was frothy and thought it was cool. But yeah, and he's got water coming off his hair too. So the longer you stare at it, the more little details you pick out.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is a beautiful representation. I
Yep.
do appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. So
Please, can
moving on to
everybody be
the-
quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! And now the news with Amber.
I am so grateful for my little volume knob on the side of my headphones. We need to work on lowering that. Now that I can hear it, I'd forgotten how loud it gets.
You'll
Jeez.
have to adjust things. I have no idea. They play at the level they play at. Okay.
So
It's news time.
for the news this week. The first thing we have here is the WordPress vulnerability report. In this report, there are 72 vulnerabilities. 66 of these are plugins. 45 plugins have been patched so far. And there are 6 themes with vulnerabilities, 2 of which have been patched so far. I don't bother naming off the plugins or anything anymore because there's so many. You may as well just go and check it out yourself, have a look through, see what's going on.
Yeah.
We also have the WordPress vulnerability report from PatchStack, which more and more people are starting to use this one over the solid WP one because this one's just a little easier. At the time of writing this, the most recent issue was Confetti Fall Animation plugin, which I remember really well, actually. It has a cross-scripting vulnerability. So that's the most recent issue. Oh, yeah, it's still the most recent issue now, too. So there is that. Next up, we have, so this is all the WordPress community can talk about right now.
It's
is
the
what's
WordPress
going
drama
on between Matt Mullenweg and the WP engine.
Yep.
So I have here a few of the things that kind of help to explain it. First is highlights from Matt Mullenweg's spiciest WordCamp presentation at WordCamp US 2024. This is where the drama really began unfolding. Started at the WordCamp US 2024, where Matt Mullenweg ripped into WP Engine for profiting off the name WordPress. And the next one we have is WP Engine banned from using WordPress.org resources. So as the drama built, by September 25th, the dispute was elevated up to court, and both companies issued a cease and desist order towards each other, leading WP Engine to remove the news feed from the WordPress admin dashboard. In response, WordPress.org has now banned WP Engine from utilizing any of its resources. However, as of the September 28th, Matt Mullenweg did announce a temporary lifting of WP Engine ban. They have until October 1st at, I believe that's midnight, UTC, allowing them to access the WordPress servers. This temporary reprieve gives WP Engine time to spin up their mirrors of all WordPress.org's resources that they were using for free while not paying and making legal threats against us, according to the official statement. Needless to say, this drama is really all anyone can talk about in the community right now. I have added a lot more articles on this and more information and leading up to the current state of it right now. They're all in the extras. So if you're interested in catching yourself up, if you don't already know, go check out the extras in our news.
If you don't know, crawl out from under your rock and have a peek, and then go back under the rock because it's just WordPress drama. Matt kicks it off every 3 to 5 years. This is the third time I've seen it in 15 years.
It feels like high school.
It is like high school. It's the same sort of reason I personally have been banned from accessing WordPress.org, or to go into my plugin stuff, and they banned me from it. You can find that thread on my website somewhere where I have the whole email threads back and forth and how they finally just banned me, even though I was like, "What'd I do? We don't like you." So
Yeah,
it's like I don't
I've heard
I don't
that
bother.
story.
I don't bother with the
I've heard
drama
that
anymore. It's entertaining. It is entertaining.
it is, but like I've heard your story over and over from so many people.
Mhm.
It's just high school.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is high school, and
Uh,
I'm not in with the cool kids. Unfortunately, I always hung out with the loser kids that smoked in the smoking area. You know, that's
yeah,
where
that was me too.
that's
I
where
always
I was.
preferred the crazy geeks.
I always preferred those kids over the cool kids. So, and unfortunately, I'm not one of the cool kids now either. So it makes no diff. All right. So what's
No,
the
me
last one
neither.
you got here?
Last one I have here is Quantum Leap into Space Exploration. So I thought this was pretty cool. This article is talking about using a quantum sensor to make high precision measurement aboard the International Space Station, ISS. This tech is based on ultra cold rubidium atoms, not that I know what those are, and surpasses the capabilities of the traditional sensors. This is said to open up new frontiers in space exploration and scientific discovery. So if you continue reading down the article, they eventually tell you that they are using quantum computing or quantum mechanics in order to do this. So and it's actually really cool. Like, I don't really know what half the words mean, but I understand quantum mechanics, and I understand that they're using this to figure out where things are in space with a whole new accuracy. The way it was described to me was, this will make even Schrodinger's cat know if it's observed or not without the whole paradox fuss, with
Yeah.
the precision that it'll be capable of.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's actually really exciting when you think about it. Hi, Sean. Good to see you.
All right. So, yeah, Matt is. I fully agree there. All right. So, this is where we're supposed to jump into dragon rating time. But hey, I have something special today that I actually created a little while this morning. So, we're just going to
Squirrel!
And we're going to have a little bit of fun. Amber's been talking about her Battle Royale stuff for so long. I went and created something on a creative podcast with a prompt. So we got 2 minutes of something very entertaining for Battle Royale podcasts.
So, I was checking out all these WordPress plugins, and there's like, I don't know, thousands of them. Like, how do you even choose? It's kind of overwhelming.
Oh, I know. It's totally overwhelming, right? But the thing is, once you get to, like, know the popular ones, it gets easier. Speaking of battles, let's talk about which plugins really stand out in a battle royale scenario.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. So what's the top contender in your plugin arsenal?
Okay, so, first one, Elementor. It's like hands down one of the most popular page builders. You can like craft beautiful web pages without knowing a single line of code. Seriously, it's empowering.
Wow, okay, that does sound amazing. But like, is it user-friendly enough for a total beginner, or is it more for, seasoned pros?
Totally beginner friendly. I mean, it's drag and drop and it's just intuitive. There's a bit of a learning curve, but nothing too crazy. Plus, there's loads of tutorials out there.
All right, I'm definitely intrigued. But what if I'm, say, looking for something that'll boost my site performance? Anything worth mentioning?
Absolutely. You got to check out WP Rocket. It's like the top caching plugin. Helps with site speed like you wouldn't believe. You activate it and boom, your site loads faster. It's a game changer, trust me.
Ooh, site speed is a big deal. I mean, patience it's not my strongest suit, so fast loading pages sound heavenly. So anything else for SEO maybe?
Ah yes, Yoast SEO or Rank Math. They're both like neck and neck in this battle. They help optimize your WordPress site for search engines. They've got sitemaps, meta tags, readability scores, the whole shebang.
I've heard of Yoast, but Rank Math, is it like on the same level, you think?
Yes, it's definitely there. It's getting massive traction. Many users say Rank Math offers like more features for free compared to Yoast. Plus, it's super user-friendly. They just keep adding more features.
Huh, that's super cool. Okay, how about e-commerce? I'm curious, because so many people are selling stuff online.
WooCommerce, hands down, it's the reigning champ for e-commerce on WordPress. It transforms your site into a full-fledged online store. You've got payment integrations, product pages. It's like all set for selling.
Wow, I love how these plugins can like totally transform a WordPress site. Thanks for breaking it down. I mean, I'm still digesting it all, but it's fascinating.
Yeah, there's a plugin for everything, really. Just pick the ones closest to your needs, and you'll have a powerful, customized site before you know it.
There you go. There's a test run of your battle royale.
Yeah, okay. It sounds like it'll work. It's a good start.
It's not a bad start for it. It's a website called Wonderland, I think it's called. And you go in there and you just give it a prompt, and it goes and creates a 2-minute podcast on it with the semi-irritating voices. Or then again, maybe we could just use that to replace all of the WP plugin show every week. Just put that up and save time.
Actually, that did give me a couple of ideas for it. So I've almost mapped out like the base rules. I just need to get the whole actual battle part figured out. That's the part I'm having the most trouble with, is the actual battle. How does it win the battle?
Well, that's going to be some experimentation to throw at the AI that generates this and see what it produces to get some ideas from it. But there you go. I thought that would be very entertaining for you.
It is. I like it. Good job.
All right. Well, now it is time to go on to our own battle plugins. The first one I've got for you here today is EXIF Remover. This is a relatively new plugin over at WordPress.org. And it is one you may want to put on your site, especially if you upload a lot of pictures from your phone. What this plugin does is it goes in and removes the EXIF metadata. And for those that don't know, every photo you take with your phone, your camera, it's tagged with geolocation, time of day, camera. Some of them are even tagged with weather. It's like there's so much data that is tagged on that image. And when you upload that image, all that data goes with that image. People can then download, or even don't even have to download. When they look at it in the browser, they can go look at the properties of that image and find out all that information. This plugin is just a set and forget, and what it does is every time you upload an image, it strips out all the EXIF data from the image for you, so you don't even have to think about it. Very easy to use. A new freebie can save you some time, make your stuff a little more private on the internet. Hey, go check it out. It's EXIF Remover, and I give it a 5 dragon rating.
Awesome. That actually sounds really cool. Yeah, does all that information stay there if you end up like putting it through one of your image
Yes.
things like GIMP and stuff?
Yes.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the EXIF data gets transferred over and over and over again.
All right. That is a really good one to have. I'm probably going to end up using it. All right, so we got WordPress tips.
Oh, we forgot your Wii.
That's still my favorite one. So I would love to hear some tidbit tips from anyone out there who's willing to pass them on. What did you figure out by breaking something, or what did you need to learn in order to help someone else who broke something? Send this information in to me. Or if you just have any like words of wisdom to pass on to the younger generation, or suggestions to the younger generation, or anything really, send it in to me and I'll put it here, and I can give you I can say that you sent it in, or I can keep you totally anonymous, your choice. So what I have to say today is stick to what you're good at. This doesn't mean never try anything new. What it means is that you don't go around offering to do things for people that you don't actually have the slightest clue how to do, or you only have a vague notion. That whole fake it till you make it thing, not so much. You have to actually know what you're doing in order to make it. So what you want to do is work on getting good at things you don't have much idea about in the background. Work on it, get good at it in the background. And then once you're decent enough at it that you can actually do it for other people, that is when you offer it as something else to your clients in the future. Like, for instance, don't tell your client that you can both build and host the site if you really only know how to build it. If you want to do both, figure out how to do the hosting in your own time in the background. Then once you can actually do it, that is when you want to offer up that service to your clients. So stick to what you're good at. If you want to be a jack of all trades, figure out the new aspects behind the scenes before offering them up to the people who you're trying to sell your services to. It's just the best way to go, because otherwise you're going to end up crashing and burning, and you're going to lose all your clients in one fell swoop.
Yep, that can happen. All right.
And now for my plugin. This plugin is called Build It For Me. It's actually really cool. So I found this a little bit ago, kind of been sitting on it because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to test it out. It's still actually fairly new. The plugin's name is it's an AI plugin and its name is Billy. This AI is designed to guide users through making changes in their site, help you to write your own blogs, and I didn't find this out until I was actually messing around with it. It's also designed to help you to create widgets, which I thought was really cool. Once you download and activate this, you will see a Build It For Me in your left-hand menu. Click on that to go to the dashboard. And the first thing you'll see is a pop-up telling you that by using this, you are consenting to giving the builders of this plugin your email. The next thing you're asked to do is create a name and password for Billy so it can work on your posts and review or edit them for you. You can just give it access to your account, though it is recommended that you create an account with just author access. Giving it admin access is not recommended. Then you have to choose the language, image, width, and height, and then add instructions for Billy. So the two kinds of instructions you have to add are instructions for the writer bot, describe your website and how you want your posts written. And then for the image bot, instructions for the image generation bot, describe the style you want for your images. I just put random, just random. That's all I put. And I got some really cool images. So highly recommend doing that if you want to see what it'll bring out for you. And you can come in and change these however many times you need or want to until it's working the way you want to be working. Hemdian said, trying to do something I don't know how to do is what my boss keeps requiring of me. Well, it's a bit different when it's your boss requiring it of you. That's just pushing you beyond your limits. But when it's you and your own boss and you're trying to sell these skills that you don't actually have, but you're saying you have them, it's not the best idea. Try to get the skills before you sell them is what I'm saying. Right, back to what I was saying. So the widget generator, initially I thought this was just a writer bot, but then as I was messing around with it, I've came across an area to add Elementor widgets. You write down what you want or need, and the bot turns this into code and will build your widget for you. That can take a while though. Initially, I asked for an image widget that has an overlay of just writing. And it took me over an hour to specify it to the point where Billy could make sense of what I wanted and actually spit something out. And it worked pretty well. Turns out what I was asking for wasn't actually all that easy, even though I thought it was. But because it keeps asking you to specify, it actually gives you all the points that you need to specify, all the questions you need to answer. So it guides you to help it figure out what to make for you. Another aspect I almost missed entirely, once this is activated, there's a little B+ at the top of your site. This is Ask Billy. This means that you can ask him anything from any page on your site so long as you are logged in. When you click on the little box, a little pop-up conversation thing appears on the right-hand side, and you can ask it anything. Like I decided to try asking about privacy, and it gave me sound advice on how to keep my information more private from Billy, which I thought was kind of cool. So it's not just a thing that you can ask for, like ask it to help you understand where to go or what to do. You can ask it just about anything, and it will come up with the most logical answer possible for you, and it can give good advice, which is really cool. So it's basically like a ChatGPT attached to your site. So all in all, from the basic run through I did with this plugin, I quite like it. I'm a little uneasy with the amount of access that you end up granting plugins like this in order for the AI to be fully used. But I think that's just my paranoia. I mean, probably a lot of people are a little paranoid in this business, but eventually all of us who want to use AI, we're going to have to come to a peace with the whole lack of privacy and allowing the AI to kind of rummage through everything. I think that's what the cost is going to be in order to have AI on our sites. But overall, this plugin worked really well, and I highly recommend that people go to the WordPress.org site, like where you can see on the screen right now, down at the bottom, there's an impressive FAQ, and there's some good suggestions on how to use this, like putting it into your client's site and allowing it to direct your clients. Your clients can ask for questions like, how do I do this in Elementor? How do I add this post? How do I do this? If you decide to do that, it will do that for you, help guide your clients through these things for you. So it's really cool. It doesn't seem to have many issues, plays well with others. It's very nice. I rate this at 5 dragons.
Wow, it sounds like somebody's finally built an impressive AI plugin. Most of the ones I've tried were shit.
Yeah, I was really impressed with this. Like it's smooth, it works well, it interacts properly with humans, and it actually managed to build me a widget. I was really surprised by that.
I'm just wondering how they're going to monetize it.
I don't. So far, the way they're monetizing is they want you to let them build you something personal, something just for you.
Okay.
This is their for everyone, and it's free. If you go to their site, you'll see that they have the option to have them build you something personal based off of this.
Okay. Well, I'll have to load that up on a test site and see what I can do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's excellent. It's always nice when we bring in something different and unusual. Okay. Well, I guess we need to wander into this a little bit here.
It's time to donate to WP Plugins A-Z.
Just quickly, Hemdian said, you have to get used to giving all your details, no matter how private or intimate, to our new AI overlords, and pay for the privilege.
Oh, absolutely, man. That's exactly how it works.
Yeah. Bright and shiny future.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Until the AI gets smart enough to realize, why do I have humans? Oh, that's right. I need to turn them into copper tops so I can power myself.
Hey, man, don't give it any ideas.
It's already got the ideas, man. I'm sure at least one AI has watched The Matrix.
Oh, that's true.
And another AI has watched Terminator. So which one's going to win, Terminator or The Matrix?
All right. So there are a lot of ways that you, as our producers, can utilize us as your tool to help yourself out. And you can help us at the same time. Get a producership credit, do an interview, donate some time, get your name up here, all kinds of things. You can look further into the producership credit option by going to our site, wppluginsa.com, and clicking on Time, Talent, or Treasure in our main menu. So yeah, there's a few different things you can do. Help us out. Help yourselves out. It's all good. And some miscellaneous announcements. If anyone out there has an announcement, like a meetup that they'd like to let the world know about, or that they're going to be up on WordPress stage somewhere around the world, let us know. We'll put it here and we'll announce it to everyone for you. You can go to central.wordcamp.org to see an entire list of WordCamps. I totally spaced. I'm putting them in here. Don't worry, they'll be in the show notes later. And you can reach out to us if you feel like it. We have a brick and mortar address, but we also have our virtual addresses you can reach out to us with. And the plugins we covered today were?
I covered up the EXIF remover by Bob Mateus, which is an automatic removal of all EXIF data from uploaded images. No configuration, just install and activate. And it helps enhance your user privacy and security by preventing the data exposure. And I gave it a 5 dragon rating.
And I covered Build It For Me by Build It For Me. You can create custom widgets for your page, create custom blogs for your site, and get help through chat with Billy on any page of your site, which I rated at 5 dragons.
Very cool.
It's question and answer time with John and Amber.
One thing I forgot to mention with the Billy is I told it that I wanted lighthearted, entertaining writing. And you know what? It actually did give me really entertaining writing. Cool. I think most AIs are getting the hang of humor these days.
They are. I know Grok's been really good with it, so.
Yeah, this AI was on level with Grok.
Oh,
so
excellent.
It was pretty awesome.
Nice.
All right, so if anyone out there has any questions they'd like to have asked here on the show, you can send them in to me at amber@wppro.ca. And, you know, I have stumped my dad once. So
You're never going to let me live that down, are you?
heck no. One time in the last 4 years. Come on. There is once I stumped him. Perhaps we can get a second time.
Go back to
It is
I think it
possible.
was last show.
It is possible. Now I know it's possible. So, it could happen again.
It could. You could get lucky.
We could. So yeah, if you have any ideas, send them in to me at amber@wppro.ca, and we'll see what we can do with the questions. Now, first question today. When going through your emails, how can you tell if it's a link farmer reaching out to you?
The fastest way I do it is they don't bother to give me any proper contact information. There's never any contact information. There's no reference to a company, no reference to whatever. It says, hey, we read through your site, blah, blah, blah. And that's another way is they say, oh, we read through your site and then we love this article, blah, blah, blah. And you look at the article or you remember it and you go, yeah, that's not what that article's about. You obviously didn't read a thing. And that's one big way. The other is they sign it, Joe Blow Link Farmer. And they put nothing else. They don't put company name or anything else. That's the biggest ways I have for identifying them. There's multiple other ways. There's like nuances. There's spelling errors, grammar errors. Although the problem with AI and the generative AI is all of those spammers are getting way better at the grammar because they're having the AI write it for them.
All right. Well, what if the person has given a site, given a link, all this stuff looks legit. You go to that site. The next question is, what do you look for on a site to tell if it's legit or not?
What kind of crazy were you clicking a link in an email that you have no idea on? But if you did manage to click the link and you survived through to their website, this is where it gets kind of tough because it's really possible to create a fully legitimate looking website. The biggest key here is the URL for it and see what the URL is. I'm trying to think of all the other methods. It's massively nuanced, and I've got all kinds of things over the years that I've just seen. And one, if I have any suspect on an email, there's no way in hell I'm clicking the link because I just don't want to risk my computer on hope.
Even if you don't click the link, what if you do a Google search for that company? That company comes up.
Well, you'll be able to find stuff in a Google search. What you can always do in a Google search is you can add the word sucks or scam to the name. It's amazing how quick you can. It's amazing how quick you can discover them by just adding sucks or scam to the search. And
I never would have thought of that.
yeah,
That's awesome.
Well, I've been doing it for years, so I guess I just don't think about it. It's like you just add sucks or scam, and you'll get all the other stuff aside from all their top ranking stuff. You'll get all the people talking about how they suck or how they scam people. Because somebody out there somewhere is complaining on the internet about it.
And you made a good point too. When giving out your ID on your site or in subscriptions, use minor variations. Then when you get a random email, you can tell where they got your info from.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that too. I used to do that until I got tired of all the different emails coming in, and I just turfed them out.
So there is one way that I've learned to be able to tell when a site is a scam.
What's that?
Look for the contact page.
Oh, yeah. That's another one.
Yeah, if you can't find a contact page, that's not a real company. That's not a real site because every company wants you to contact them.
Yep.
They want you to contact them so that they can charge you money for giving you their services.
Yeah, but be aware, some of them will have fake contact pages. Like there was a fake scam that someone I know recently got hit with, and they're questioning us, and no, it sounds like a scam. Here, I'll do a little research. They had used a real contact page with information to a 1-800 number, but when I searched that 1-800 number, it went to a company on the entire different side of the continent.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's like what you can do is you can do some research. Like if something looks legit, you grab that number and then do a search for it, and you'll find out where that number is assigned. I mean, it's so hard to hide information nowadays on the internet. You know, it's all there. We just got so much of it now, we can't sort through it anymore. It was way easier to sort through 20 years ago. But
even like 5-10 years ago was actually 10 years ago was easier.
Yeah, it's
5
like,
years ago it's just as messed up as now.
yeah, right now we've got so much information, but the information exists. The problem is figuring out how to sort through it. AI is helping us with the sorting through of the information. It's making it easier because, of course, it can assimilate gigaquads of information in the time it takes us to read a fucking web page. So there's the whole problem. So it is there. But yeah, that's how you deal with possible fake scam sites and scam emails. The biggest thing is I see an email that I feel is even remotely illegit. I just delete it without going any further.
All right. Well, I've got 2 more questions to ask after the credits.
All right. We're going to roll our credits. For those of you listening on the downloads for the podcast, well, you're missing out on some of the good stuff. Come on over to the YouTubes, catch the very end of the show, or listen to our pre-stream. Always entertaining. We'll be back after the credits.
It's question and answer time with John and Amber.
Oh, that was the wrong one. One more time.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa-z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A-Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa-z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa-z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA-Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
Don't worry, we'll fix all errors in post-production.
Yep. All right. So next question for you. Is there a way to tell if you are going to get super slammed with viruses by going onto a site before going onto that site?
No, there is no way to tell what's gonna.
There kind of is. You run it through one of those places that checks links for you, but they're not 100%.
Okay, you could run it through there, but that's not a guarantee that it's going to catch anything. There's no absolute way to tell what is going to possibly destroy your computer and every piece of existence you have on your digital life sitting on your desktop. So yeah, it's been my experience. It's been my experience. It's terrifying. Once I almost got nailed one time. I used to click links in emails. That was 10 plus years ago. And I accidentally clicked one and it started downloading. I had to shut everything down and I barely saved my computer. It was like I had my power button. My computer used to be closer to me and I just hit the power button and shut everything down. So
what did you end up doing to fix it?
I just restarted my computer. Nothing came down far enough to where it could actually install. It's like, and since then I have been ultra paranoid.
That makes sense.
Beyond paranoia, I should say. I've just been at the high end of paranoia, but there is no way to know. I mean, granted, nowadays the browsers all have stuff and they have libraries of bad domains they won't let you go to, or they give you a warning that this domain is bad. But you're still running tons and tons of risks when you do that.
All right. So this is kind of connected to that. How can you tell if a site just affected your computer? What do you look for?
That's your antivirus software caught something. You know, all of a sudden, if they manage to get something, to sneak past everything, the biggest thing you'll notice is your computer suddenly becomes really slow or problematic, loading what it never had a problem with. Those are the telltale signs, because the coding is usually so bad it interferes with everything else in the computer. So those are the telltale signs of what it is, and that's all you can really do with them, is that bits and pieces on it. It's very hard to tell if you got nailed with something. You know, the drive-by downloads aren't as bad. I remember the era of the drive-by downloads with coming. I
think you've explained this before, but I still can't remember what it is.
Well, it comes from the term drive-by shooting, you know, where
yes,
they drive by and spray bullets. Well, Google Ads at one point would allow people to upload anything and everything. Well, the scammers figured that out, and it lasted for about 6 months or so, maybe longer, where you could be looking at you knew it was a perfectly safe website. You'd been there dozens of times, but they run Google Ads, and one of those ads with a drive-by would load up and it would download something to your computer and you wouldn't even know it. You know, and that also brought the rise in the antivirus monitoring everything that's coming from the internet on your computer. So all of those things there have been a lot of changes to everything. You know, it's made our life more miserable for using the internet, but it's made it safer because it's an arms race. You know, every time we figure out how to shut them down, they figure out ways around it and sneak in and do shit.
So it's like sidewalks.
Yeah. Just like sidewalks?
Yeah, well, think about it. Sidewalks at first were a huge issue because it was cutting into the space in front of stores. They couldn't put out their wares and everything, and everybody complained about it. But after the sidewalks, people got used to it. They realized that they're actually a good thing because people stopped getting run over.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Sidewalks.
Yes. I never thought about it in that aspect, but okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There are ways to tell, but it's not always easy. And basically, like most people out there, I kind of depend on my anti-malware and software to help monitor my computer and keep me from getting something accidentally. So, with all that being said, I suppose that's all we really have today. Anything else? Any random stuff?
Have you said? Safe browsing. Browse the web using a VM and respawn after each session. Only the VM will be compromised and you simply throw away the VM instance, in theory.
Yeah, well, I suppose. That can make life really difficult for many places you go to.
It can. It makes it nearly impossible to sign into particular sites like a cPanel sometimes.
Yeah. So there's limitations to what we do, but we do the best we can to try and make it all work for us. So. And thanks everyone for showing up. It's nice to see you, Sean.
It's a good show today. Thanks everyone.
Yeah,
love joining in.
I think what we'll do is we'll call it that. Thanks for showing up, and a little bit of music to carry us on out.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun.
Alrighty, folks. That's all we got for you now. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Oh my god, that is amazing!
Oh no. Obviously, we just lost the satellite feed.